I receive dozens of messages every day on LinkedIn from people asking, Trent, how do I find more success sooner rather than later? In today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why I have never missed my sales quota in my 4-year software sales career. I started out as an SDR, absolutely grinded, have made 50,000 cold calls, promoted to an account executive last year, closed about $1 million my first year in seat, and now find myself as a senior account executive. I have absolutely nothing to sell you, and I'm going to share what has worked based on firsthand experience, and hopefully you can take some of those lessons and insights to apply in your own job. If you are interested in more sales content, interviews, best practices, industry trends, I built a sales podcast to deliver all of that to you on a week-to-week basis. This week I had Maria, who is the head of sales development at Qualtrics. Fantastic interview. I really enjoyed it, and I think you are too. First link in the description below. Go watch it after this video. I shared this post on LinkedIn today saying, rather than wishing you had more pipeline, why not pick up the phone right now? Rather than waiting to be promoted onto your dream team, why not go set up time with the leader who can actually influence your career? Rather than hoping that discovery call goes well, why not go proactively study MEDDICCC and other discovery questions to make sure you build and maximize value? Proactive daily urgency always outperforms passive reactiveness. How can you be more urgent? Is it responding to people quickly on Slack? Is it putting your phone in your backpack so you're not distracted while making your calls, looking through social media, watching my TikToks? How can you be more urgent? Because the more urgent you are, the more urgent your request will seem to the people around you, whether it's internal or external. And I feel this because when I message people, I'm proactive. I try and share solutions, not problems. And when I say something, it's receptive by them because I apply so much urgency to it. So ask yourself, where are the gaps today and how can you close them? And believe me, it will help. The second reason why I have never missed quota in my entire life is because I operate with tremendous speed. Not to be confused with urgency. Speed to me means quick, agility, getting back fast. Think of yourself as an airplane. Airplanes are really heavy. They are able to defy gravity because they are moving so fast through the air. In your sales job, you will face a lot of rejection, but the faster you can move, you can start to defy rejections, and each no gets you closer to a yes. So the faster you can move, the faster you can go to market, the faster you can reply to people, the faster you're going to be able to bypass the rejections and get more of what you want, which is setting up initial meetings, qualifying pipeline, executing on demos, completing DocuSigns, negotiating, recognizing that closed revenue. Not to be confused with urgency, which to me is proactiveness. Speed just means speed of response, agility, doing things in a fast manner. So if people reach out asking something of you, get back to them quickly. I take pride in looking at my email every minute of the day. When I get an email from a customer, I want to reply within 10 minutes of receiving it, because when they see such speed on my end, it then forces them to at least have some speed back. Because when you make decisions fast, when you help people in a quick manner, naturally it will give you permission to then push on them to say, look, I've set the stage here. You better be fast back. And it will help move your deals forward. It will expedite your deal processes, and it will just make you better. The third reason why I've never missed quota is because I'm wildly consistent. This is one of those things that's really easy to talk about, but also really easy not to do. Early on in my software sales career, I identified I'm not more talented than anyone. I'm not smarter. I don't have the best talk tracks. I certainly don't have the most experience. I'm not the best looking, but I can show up every day, whether I feel like it or not, and literally make 100 calls. And that's all I did, was show up every day, whether I felt like it or not, and made a lot of calls and just kept doing it over long periods of time. Because if you ask yourself, what is your target? Is it closing $216,000 in revenue per quarter like me as an account executive? Is it generating $300,000 of pipeline per month as an SDR? Is it setting up meetings, demos, whatever it may be? Whatever that target is, reverse engineer and say, okay, I need to make 75 calls a day and send 15 new emails. And if I do that for long enough, I will stack up enough wins to eventually get to my target. Building this YouTube channel, we just reached 10,000 subscribers. Last year, I made a video every day for 160 days straight. Think about this to yourself. Imagine making a video on your phone, GoPro, or if you have a camera like me, make the video, figure out a topic, sound coherent enough, put it in iMovie, whatever you use, edit it, put it up to YouTube, think of title, thumbnail, all of that. I did that process every day for 160 days straight in order to get to this point. That demonstrates consistency better than any other example I could think of, so that's why I wanted to share it with you. The fourth reason why I have never missed quota, and if you guys want to go check out my pace and history, go connect with me on LinkedIn right now and go check out my profile, and you can actually see my pace and history because I'm very transparent and I share my exact quota attainment quarter over quarter. The fourth reason is because I'm willing to push the boundaries. Think about space travel, going to Mars. Think about going to the depths of the ocean, the Mariana Trench, one of the deepest places around Japan, off the coast there. Anytime we push the boundaries, there's danger associated with it. You are risking something for a reward, such as going to the moon and bringing something back, rare precious earth metals or pictures. You may die in the process, but at least you can say, hey, I went to the moon. In my software sales job, I am willing to push the boundaries. I am ethical and I will do things the right way, but I am willing to go into the gray area and do things that I may not be asking permission for, but I am willing to ask for forgiveness afterwards. All this really means is that you need to move fast, like we talked about. You need to move with urgency. Early on in my software sales career, I identified a massive opportunity because we have our territories, our book of businesses, and I noticed that there were large swaths of accounts that were unassigned just based on a specific territory that were not being worked, but still recognized a lot of interesting moments, meaning prospects downloading content, webinars, and all this stuff. I saw this as a lot of untapped potential, so I started actively reaching out to all of these unassigned accounts, and I was setting up more meetings than anyone had ever seen. I ended up getting in trouble because they said, hey, that's actually breaking our rules of engagement. But they actually changed the rules of engagement as a result because they said, hey, this is actually such a big missed opportunity for our business not to be reaching out to these prospects. That's an example of pushing the boundaries. And that's like what a lot of entrepreneurs do. You are not asking for permission. Hey, can I go call into this account today? It's calling into the account. And if you screw something up, taking ownership of it and saying, hey, I messed up. Let's move on from this. What do we need to do to solve this? The fifth and final reason why I've never missed my quota is because I'm willing to take excessive levels of action. I believe success is my duty, obligation, and responsibility, and failing to take the necessary levels of action in order to hit and exceed my targets is actually selfish and a waste of my potential. And if you are not hitting your quota, that's actually really selfish of you to not only your own potential, but the people around you. Because the only reason you wouldn't hit quota is because you have failed to take the necessary levels of action. You don't need to be super talented. You don't need to be the best demoer. But if you accept that sales is a numbers game, all you have to do is go put in enough volume to generate enough pipeline, to have enough deals in your pipeline, and then you can figure out the rest. Get help from your manager, go get help from a teammate, take massive levels of action. And I already shared this story multiple times, but early in my SDR career, I said, look, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna make 100 calls a day. Consistency, fully in my control, massive urgency, speed, boom. And next thing you know, I start to get more efficient, I start to get better. Sales is like mining for gold. Imagine yourself as that big sleuth machine, and I'm thinking about that show, Digging for Gold on Discovery, whatever it is. You have your machine, that's you. You have all of your raw materials, you have the water, you have the rocks, and it's all about how can you get as much rock and gravel onto your machine as possible, and then you run it through the process. You're gonna lose a lot of the excess in the mix, but in the end, you will have your gold, and it's all about volume, it's all about process, and it's all about going longer and taking more action than other people. It's like that meme of two people in a tunnel. Tunnel one, the guy's like this short from the diamonds. Tunnel two, the guy went that extra inch because he took more action and he reached his desired outcome, and it's really as simple as that. If you recognize value in today's video, hit the like button right now and subscribe to this channel because it really helps. And go click the first link in the description below for that interview with Maria on Sales Prestige Podcast. I think you're really gonna like it. Let me know what you think. Have a great rest of your day. Happy dialing.